WrestleTalk!
Welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Pete Quinnell. Wrestling has a sketchy history with money. There's plenty of stories in wrestling's past of people no-showing events, holding up people for more money, negotiating all sorts of controversial deals, and more. But now, NBC are reporting on a wrestler who allegedly scammed charities out of their money. NBC are reporting that current MLW wrestler Jacob Fatu, nephew of Rikishi and cousin of Jay and Jimmy Uso, no-showed a charity wrestling event hosted by Jake's Network of Hope, a non-profit organization whose mission is to provide hygiene products and daily essentials to those who otherwise wouldn't be able to attain them. Fatu was booked on the show alongside names like Billy Gunn, Vampiro, Brian Pillman Jr. and Tatanka, but on the day of the show, Fatu allegedly told the charity that he could not attend due to a family emergency. The director of development for Jake's Network of Hope, Jen Harper, was interviewed about this incident and said they gave him the benefit of the doubt and asked for the money back that they had paid him for the appearance, including flights. This is when Fatu allegedly was said to have ghosted us, he ghosted the production team that puts together the wrestling show, and he ghosted the person that booked him for us. The non-profit was reported to want to keep quiet about the whole thing, until they saw multiple other organizations all saying the same thing about Fatu's appearances in various social media posts. A major name from Fatu's family reportedly reached out to the organization and offered an appearance of their own at next year's event, despite not wrestling anymore. NBC reportedly reached out to Jacob Fatu for comment, but he did not respond. On the subject of non-profits not going to plan, how are the two of these in today's news? Sami Zayn's non-profit organization Sami for Syria was hosting a t-shirt raffle where Sami would raffle off an old My Dog t-shirt from his days in the Bloodline, signed by all the members of the Bloodline and other notable names like Kenny Omega. However, this raffle was reportedly pulled and raffle tickets refunded according to an email sent out by Pro Wrestling Tees to those who'd purchased raffle tickets. According to the email, this was due to a cease and desist, though it is currently unclear who sent it. Sami deleted tweets promoting the raffle, but then did a tweet which could have been about the t-shirt raffle being pulled, or equally could have been about the hockey draft, which is a thing I'm told happened, where he said, "Man, WTF. Not a good day for non-profit organizations." And now we have one more very exciting announcement regarding this Friday's PFK World Cup to determine the best in the world at AEW Fight Forever, which will be sponsored by THQ Nordic. The game is now out. We've all gotten to play it. It is a return to old-school arcade-style wrestling games, but who will be competing for the prize of PFK's best? We have our final two competitors set, and first up is the bridesmaid of the first PFK World Cup, The Truth, Dan Layton. And taking the final spot, special guest, former Quizzlemania champion and RuPaul Drag Race's own James Mansfield. Join us tomorrow at 1 PM UK time over on Parts Fun Mode for a live stream celebration to mark the launch of AEW Fight Forever and crown the best in the world at this video game that we have definitely perfected. Definitely. And now, over to Ollie.
It's Thursday, you know what that means. My review of Wednesday Night Collision, AEW Dynamite. In about 5 minutes, after the beautiful chaos of the Forbidden Door 10-man tag, we had two of those opponents face each other in singles action to start the show. No Neck Tomohiro Ishii versus All Bleed Wrestling Jon Moxley. This was the exact level of 2012 Shia LaBeouf intensity you'd expect from these two, which is to say, way too intense. They started with stiff chops and elbows back and forth, they continued with headbutts so hard they were both bleeding, and finished with kickouts at one. Moxley used pile driver. Ishii has no neck. It wasn't very effective. Adding an extra layer at ringside was the continued soap opera drama of Eddie Kingston not letting go. He came down early on in case Claudio and Yuta interfered, which prompted Claudio to lock in Mega Evils at Eddie for the entire rest of the match. Eddie gatecrashed the BCC interview with Renee after Mox won, again shouting at John for hanging out with Claudio. Mox said, "Who cares about some Chikara BS?" To which Kingston excellently replied, "I care! I care! I care!" Because Eddie's main character trait is his complete inability to let anything go. All my favourite wrestlers have that trait. Renee then showed significant interview bias, shouting at Eddie to fix this or she's done. Renee Paquette, Blackpool Combat Club confirmed. Renee also caught up with MJF and Adam Cole in the parking lot, asking about their pairing in the Blind Eliminator Tag Tournament. Max has decided they're best friends now, while Cole is going along with it. Who will outsmart who? How will they coexist? This has quite a way to go before it reaches the fun of MJF and Sami, but I reckon they can get there. After getting Vikingo and Keith Lee to team with him just by seeing who was physically closest to him in the locker room, Orange Cassidy and friends took on Daniel Garcia and 2.0 following their international title four-way at Forbidden Door. The Faces won a fun match, mostly built around AEW reminding you, hey, look at Keith Lee. Keith Lee is awesome. We should really do more things with Keith Lee. The Dark Order accepted the Hung Bucks Open challenge, telling Hangman they're not friends anymore. It provided emotional subtext for the very good action, with Hangman reluctant to beat his former mates up throughout the match, but snapping when they kept pushing him to fight. It wasn't a simple Hangman snaps and wins though, as is the way with Page's character. When he gives in to something, it just makes things worse. So the Dark Order actually went on a great several-minute run with a few credible near falls. A Deadeye, BTE Trigger and Buckshot Lariat killed John Silver for the elite win though, whose unconscious body Hangman mourned over, with all the guilty clarity of leaving a furry orgy at 7 AM on a Sunday morning, which is something I read about on the internet. But no time to be morally conflicted, you big emo! Here's Jon Moxley to punt you in the head. The BCC, with Don Callis and Takeshita in tow, attacked the Elite, busting Hangman open. Kingston ran down again because, of course he did, to get beat up too. All the while, the Dark Order just stood there and eventually walked away, leaving Hangman to watch them go with blood dripping down his eyes like tears. Hopefully this can lead to a supervillain-style repackaging for the Dark Order, as being defined by their relationship to Hangman has limited them for years. Mox closed the segment by issuing a challenge for July 19th in Boston, where this will all come to an end in blood and guts. Still a stupid name for that match, but I cannot wait! Jungle Boy then came down to explain his heel turn on Hook at Forbidden Door. He cut a very Christian promo, and by which I mean the person, not the faith. Telling people you're banging the hottest chick in the place isn't very Christian religious at all. He laid on the heel lines thick. He's going to leave Toronto while everyone here has to deal with the forest fires. He's cashing fat checks, and he's getting rid of his Tarzan Boy entrance music. As for Hook, he accused him of flaunting the FTW belt, a championship not even fully recognized by AEW, in front of him when all Jungle Boy wanted was a title, which is a really neat, unhinged motivation. Hook brilliantly chased Perry off through the crowd to essentially do a tope suicida into a waiting escape car. Taz is so getting taken out during this feud. Britt Baker was unfortunately off sick, presumably with whatever her boyfriend Cole had that meant he couldn't wrestle at Forbidden Door on Sunday, meaning her planned Owen Hart Cup match with Ruby Soho was replaced, with Ruby just squashing local enhancement talent Alexia Nicole. Apart from exposing the lack of women's wrestling segments on Dynamite, as this was the only one, the change in plans effectively helped build their match for next week, with Soho winning with Baker's lockjaw submission. And the main event was a bat fight, a game of honor or diplomacy. It's a bat fight. Come on down and see. Bat fight. Children of the world, it's a... We saw Chris Jericho and Sting go at it again, tagging with their respective partners Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin. But it wasn't just any old Chris Jericho, it was Painmaker Chris Jericho. Ooh, you know, it's the gimmick that's way cooler in Jericho's head than in reality. Nevertheless, this continued Sting's incredible multi-year run of insanely fun hardcore matches. Sure, he brawls into the crowd with his shirt on TNA style. Yeah, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors by being in multiple person matches. But if you don't feel the purest form of wrestling joy when he climbs to the top of something very high and leaps off it, like age is a construct, there's something dead within you. Because watching Sting wrestle in 2023 isn't about him versus his opponents, it's about watching him him conquer time itself with black and white face paint on. In this match, he hit a splash from a ladder in the ring onto Sami on 2 tables outside it. He didn't get all of it, as they say, only crashing through the first one and apparently smashing a tooth on the corner of the second, but it was good enough for me. And he super heroically got back to his feet for a climactic fight against Jericho, exchanging finishers and holds to eventually tap the Painmaker out in a Scorpion Deathlock. Now hopefully this isn't the start of a 9-month feud that Jericho ultimately wins. This was a very fun episode with some terrific wrestling. It did lack the recent hot momentum of the Forbidden Door build shows though. This week's Dynamite is 76%. We had a brand new episode of Quizzlemania go live yesterday. Here's a clip.
What's that? That's an arrow pointing at the colour black.
That's an arrow.
That's a plus. That's a pull. And here's the 4 members.
They don't look like foxes.
I was running out of time. I spent a lot of time on the arrow.
Look, I can see there's Wheeler Uter on the end there.
Yeah.
Wait, you spent a lot of time on the arrow.
I thought the arrow was pretty good.